Welcome back for another Clash of Spears battle report, where today the Romans will be facing off against the Selucid Empire. The scenario we'll be playing today is This Is My Land. So the opposing sides will be facing off for control of these two objectives here in the middle. For each one that they hold per turn, will give the opposing side an automatic breakpoint. So, as long as they're within 4 inches of the objective, which will increase the odds of their force breaking. So with that, we'll go ahead and take a look at the army rosters. Alright, here we have about 650 points of Romans, Republican Romans. We have a level 3 leader, and then we have 2 units of 8 trained legionnaires, a 6-man unit of veteran legionnaires, and then a 6-man unit of allied slingers. Alright, on to the Selucids. Alright, and this is 650 points of Selucids. We have a level 3 leader with thrusting spear, 2 8-man units of Pescatores, pikemen, and then an 8-man unit of Argraspides, pikemen. These are the milites, while these are civies. And then we have a 5-man unit of Heterori, cavalry. So with that, we'll go ahead and get deployment and begin the battle. Alright, we've deployed our forces. I have my civvy pikemen and my cavalry on my right flank, leader in the middle, my veterans, my elites in the middle, and my other pikemen on the left flank. The Romans have her veterans and their slingers on her right flank, and then her 2 trained legionnaires on her left flank with her leader. So, with that, we'll go ahead and roll for initiative and begin the battle. I have 4 for the Selucids and a 6 for the Roman, who will take the initiative. And we'll go ahead and begin the battle. Alright, at the end of round 1, I advanced my forces. Cavalry moved forward, this pike unit stayed, my leader attached to this pike unit, and then my other pike unit advanced. While for the Romans, the slingers moved forward 3 times. The veterans did not move, while she attached her leader to one of the trained legionnaires, and then her other unit moved up twice. So with that, we'll continue on to round 2. Alright, and then at the end of round 2, my 2 pikeman units on my left flank moved forward twice. While this pike unit moved forward twice, my cavalry stayed in position. And then over here, the Romans spent 2 command points to advance the veterans. The slingers did not move. And then her trained legionaries moved forward. And so with that, we'll continue on to round 3. Alright, at the start of round 3, the Romans pushed her trained legionaries forward 3 times in a rush to get to the objective, gaining 1 fatigue. And as a response, I spent 2 command points to activate my cavalry, which formed close order, and then moved forward, and then did a massed charge on her Roman unit here. So this will be 5 attacks, hitting on 3s. and that is 5 hits. And then, because I'm in mass charge with a higher initiative weapon, this will be a -6 or a -1 to her save. So what is the save of the trained legionnaires?
My save is a +4.
Alright, so this will be a +5 now.
How many you got there?
5. Oof, that's 4 failures. So, or no, it's 5 failures,
yep.
right?
Yep.
So she loses 5 of her men. And then she will have to make a morale test. Alright, so she would normally have to roll 6 dice for her grit value, but because of the mass charge, she gains an additional die for the morale test. So she'll be rolling 7 grit tests, and her value is 3. So it's a pretty good roll. She only failed 2. So she will gain 2 fatigue, bringing her fatigue value to 3. And then we will continue with the Roman's turn. Alright, so her slinger's activated, moving forward twice for 2 actions, and then the third action is used to shoot at my pikeman on my left flank. So this will be 6 dice hitting on 5s. And we got 4 hits. Alright. And then this will be a +1 to my save because I'm more than 4 inches away. And my save is a 5. It would be a 6 up to down to a 5. That's 2 saves, and I lose 2 pikemen. And then I'll make 3 grit rolls. My grit is a 4. Which I pass them all. No fatigue. Alright, and then we move on to my turn. Alright, for the rest of the turn, I activated my pikemen over here. They formed close order and then shifted towards the direction of the slingers. And then for the Romans, she activated her other trained legionaries, and they moved to support her other unit on her left flank. And that brings us to the end of round 3 as we move on to round 4. Alright, the Romans activated. She activated her veterans, or not her veterans, but her trained legionaries. They moved forward, formed close order, and then charged into my cavalry. And this is an all-out attack. So, and then this will be 10 attacks, hitting on force.
Yes.
Alright, and then I also chose to defend for 1 action. Alright, so we got, let's see, 3, 4. So that's 4 hits, and then those 6s count as 2 hits. So that's 2 additional for a total of 6 hits.
Where'd you see 4 hits?
Your 6s count as 2. Alright, so that's 6 hits, and then I get to try to cancel them out with my defend. And I need 3s to cancel them out. Oof, so I only got 2. So I take 4 hits, and then I have a save of 6. And I got 1. I lose 3 cavalry. Not bad. Alright, and then 4 to my grit test. My grit is a 3. So I failed 2, so I gained 2 fatigue. Bringing me to 3. And I have lost 3 horsemen. And let me see that. It might affect, the fatigue might affect the unit. So we'll see what happens after I check the rules. And then her unit gets 3 fatigue for the result of that combat. Alright, so my pikemen moved forward and then formed close order. And then for the Romans, she spent her 2 command points remaining to push her veterans forward, bringing them onto the hill with 1 fatigue. And then I followed up by advancing my pikemen and charging her slingers. So this would be 10 attacks, hitting on 3s, and she decided to defend. So that is 7 hits. 7 hits on her, and then she will try to defend them by rolling 5s. She got 2, so she blocks 2 and takes 4 casualties because she only has a 7 save. So she loses 4, and then you need to roll 5 grit tests.
Okay.
And then, what is your grit?
5.
Alright. Nothing. So that is 5 fatigue, which is twice higher than the remaining units. So that unit will get wiped out. And then we move on through the rest of the round. Alright, then the Romans passed on their turn as they have no more command points. And then for my last command point, I shifted my pikemen to face off the veteran legionnaires. So with that, we'll move on to the next round. And currently the Romans are at 2 breakpoints to my 1. And both of the objectives are contested. Alright, at the start of round 5, the Romans activated. She picked this unit, the injured unit, to form close order and then charge into my cavalry. This will be an all-out attack. And then I chose to counterattack. So, 4 dice, hitting on 4s.
Yeah.
6s count as 2 hits. Alright, so that's 3 hits and 2 of those are 6s. So that will be 5 total hits. Alright, and then my 2 will counterattack. I'll be hitting on 3. So that's 2 hits for me. And then 5 hits for her. So, my 5, I have a save of 6. So they get wiped out. Cavalry get wiped out. And then you gotta make 2 saves with yours, which is a 4.
Yep, 4.
Alright. Made 1, failed 1, so you lose 1. And then you get a fatigue. And then I believe you have to make a grit test as well. With,
2.
Yes. Passed 1, fail 1, so you get another fatigue. Alright. I'll double check that to make sure. But then we move on to my turn. Alright, so for the Selucids, I formed close order with my elite unit and then shifted. And then for the third activation, we attacked the veterans. And then as her response, she is going to do a counterattack. And because I have the higher initiative with my weapon, her counterattack will come after her saves. So 10 attacks, hitting on 3s. Wow, that's a lot of 1s. So that's only 4 hits.
Nice.
And then she'll make 4 up saves. Which she made all but 1, so she loses 1 guy.
That's my 3rd break.
Which will give her a 3rd break point, and then she will counterattack with 5 dice. What are we hitting on? 3s, I believe?
Yes.
Alright. And that's 4 hits. And then I will make a save, which my save is 6. I made 1, so I lose 3 guys. To her, 1. I think one of those might go towards my leader. I will double check. But then she will make 2 morale saves with her grit, which is
My grit.
3.
3.
3. Okay,
Yeah.
so you pass 1, fail 1, so you take 1 fatigue.
Okay.
And then I took 3 casualties. My grit is a 3. And I will take a fatigue as well, bringing me to 2 fatigue. And then I will retreat because I took the most fatigue. And then we will move on to the Roman's turn. Alright, the Roman's activated. She spent her 2 command points to activate her veterans, which formed close order and then charged into my elite unit here. And then I decided to defend. So, 5 attacks hitting on 4s because of fatigue. For just 1 hit. And then I'll defend. My melee is 4, which I don't get. And then a save of 6. No. So I lose 1 guy. Alright. And then fatigue. Or my grit test. Which I failed 1, so I take a fatigue. Alright. And then I will fall back. And then I will move on to my turn. Alright, so next I spent a point on this unit to do an all-out attack on her veterans. So this will be 6 attacks, hitting on 4s, and then 6s count as 2 hits. So we got 4 hits, and 2 of those were 6s, giving me a total of 6 hits. She chose to defend. So this will be 6 dice versus your melee, which is at a -1, I believe.
-1?
Yes. Which brings it to a 4. Alright. Alright, so you block out 4 of them. And then you roll 2 saves, which is
4.
4. Failing 1, so you take 1 casualty. And then roll 2 dice for your grit test, which is
3.
at a -1.
Well, then 4,
Oh,
but
no. Yeah.
I pass.
Pass?
Yeah.
Pass them both. Alright. And then we'll move on to the Romans, which will pass. And then it'll go back to me, which I'll go ahead and spend my last command point on this unit, which will do an all-out attack on her veterans. Oh, nope, you're right. I am out of range. Just out of range. So, in that case, we're going to pass as well, which will bring us to the end of the round, and we'll have to do a break test. Alright, so do the Roman breakpoint. She'll roll 3 dice, and she needs a 3 to pass. And that is 2 failures, which results in the force breaking. You can spend one of your war token.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Alright, so you roll 1 die. And that is a 3, which is a pass. So with only 1 failure, it's a -1 to the next initiative, which we haven't been doing for some reason. We haven't been doing initiative rolls each round. So with that, we go on to the next turn. Alright, we rolled off initiative. The Selucids won, so I activated my pikemen over here on the left, and they did an all-out attack on the veterans. So this would be 6 attacks. She decided to defend. This would be 6 attacks hitting on 4s. 6s will count as 2 hits. So that's 3 hits on her. And then she will roll 3 as well. This will be -1 to your melee, so 4s.
5s.
5s?
Yeah.
No, these are your veterans.
Oh, okay.
Which you failed to. Okay. And then... No, you passed 3, right?
No, I have 2.
Oh, yeah, you failed 2, yeah. Okay. And then you make 2 saves.
Okay.
4 up. Failing 1, so you lose 1 guy. And then you roll 2 grit saves. Failing 1, bringing you to fatigue of 4. And then you retreat. And I believe you're no longer in close order.
Okay.
And then we go to Roman's turn. Alright, for the Romans, she moved forward and then did a charge on my unit of pikemen. She decided to do an all-out attack. And then I will be doing defending. So, 10 attacks, hitting on 3s,
4.
or 4s. And then there's a bad roll, only 2 hits, but they were 6s, so that counts as 4 hits. And then I will do my canceling, so I need 4s to block them. So I block 3, so I only take 1 hit, and then a save of 6. No, so I lose 1 guy. And then do a fatigue. Grit is a 4, so I take 1 fatigue for that combat result. And you take 2, and you will fall back because you took more fatigue. And then we go to the Selucid's turn. Alright, for the Selucids, I spent my 2 remaining command points to activate the pikemen, which are going to do an all-out attack on her unit here, on her trained legionnaires. And then she decided to do a counterattack with her last remaining action for that unit. So, 7 attacks, hitting on 4s. Another bad roll for me, so that is 3 hits on her. And then 3 4-up saves. You take 1 casualty. Not as many as I wanted, sadly. Alright, and then you will do a counterattack with 9. Hitting on 5s because of your fatigue.
No 5s? Okay.
We got 5 hits. No, 4 hits. 4 hits on me. And this will be 6 ups, which I failed, so I take 4 casualties. Ouch. Alright, and then it's 4, 5 grit tests for me, 2 grit tests for you. Which I failed 3 of those, so I take 3 fatigue on top of that, so I'm at 6 fatigue, which will wipe out the unit, sadly.
My grit is a 3, unless it's adding the... Either way.
Fatigue 2. Yeah.
Okay. 4 and 5 make it?
Pass them both?
Yeah.
Alright, and I took 6 fatigue as a result of that, for the additional 2.
Oof.
So So that unit gets wiped out. And that will do that'll be a 3rd breakpoint for me. Or a 4th breakpoint for me. Which does not do, that's not good. Alright, and then we move on to the Romans' turn. Alright, so the Romans decided to pass, and then I passed as well, bringing it to the end of the round. And then as a result of that unit getting wiped out, she now holds that objective, and I have an additional 2 breakpoints, which will affect my breakpoint test. I forgot to use my fate dice in the moment, so that kind of took away my edge for the battle, as I was winning. So now we will do break tests. So I have a -2 to my roll, so I need 5s to pass this break test. And that's a fail, so my army breaks, and then she will have to make a break test as well. And she fails too as well. So with that, both of our forces break, and this is considered a draw. Thanks for watching, guys.